Are you an RP fan? Are you somebody who just loves to take your hands off your keyboard and watch NPCs talk to each other about how the world's going to end? Well, you're going to be disappointed by this news because there has been a significant RP reduction in the Dawn of the Infinites Mythic Plus. Yes, you guys know we're getting Dawn of the Infinites, the wings are being split up here, and we're getting it as a Mythic Plus. Well, RP has been significantly reduced. In some spots, gone down from 21 seconds to 0. Which is good, because honestly, there's been a shit ton of RP in that dungeon. And to go through it on a Mythic Plus would have been aggravating, because the clock never stops. And that clock would have had to have been long, and it just would have been very annoying. So yeah, there's been big reductions. Like I said, some of them 25 to 0 here, 18 to 8. Just big reductions across the board. And that's good, because we don't need any RP in our Mythic Plus. We've seen it enough. Yeah, Clues Vaders, no. Yes. Another thing, Dawn of the Infinite, the epic and infamous time run. Yes, if you don't know what this is, you haven't done the Mythic Dungeon yet, you got to run through these guys and not get hit with their golden beams of, golden showers. You got to dodge them and get through it without getting hit, and someone has to do it in your group in order to open the portal so everyone else can go to the other side. Well, there's been an adjustment to the speed of Murazan's Rise on Mythic difficulty. What does that mean? Well, the big cast time is increased to 1.9%, so it's been nerfed. It was 1.8, they were casting, now it's 1.9. So it should be easier to get through. Shouldn't take as long. Honestly, I've gotten really good at this thing. I fucking own this shit, so I don't even care about it. But they have reduced it, so it's not too bad. You know, get through it, get it done. Here's the main news that I saw come up end of last week. Forsaken Guard armor has been updated. The cape, the polearm, and the pauldrons. Yes, so, it's not a big deal that they've been updated. The question is, why? Why have they been updated? Well, we believe we're still going to get some more Undercity, stuff going forward here, whether it's in the 10.2 patch, or whether it's more, but I think it's going to be happening further on. So I still think we're going to get some Undercity rework in here. We're going to get more about the Undercity. I hope we bring back Lordaeron, personally. I hope the Forsaken gets some kind of storyline where they're like, you know what? It's time for us to return to the surface. And we start to get a rebuilding of Lordaeron. I hope that's what they do it eventually. Yeah, they don't look that great, but this is guard armor. Remember, this is like, those kind of look cool. But this is guard armor. And that's what's interesting about it, is Blizzard wouldn't be going through the whole upgrading the NPCs if they weren't going to introduce them storyline. And that's why this is even more interesting right here. We're also seeing updates in 10.2 to the Night Elves, but also the Silver Moon Guards. Now this is what excited me the most, because Night Elves, yeah, we were expecting it. We're getting the Amirdrasil, they're getting their new city and shit. Even their tabards are new here. You can tell it's not Chaldrasil anymore on their tabards. And their capes here. But what's going on with Silver Moon? Why are the Silver Moon Guards getting updated? Now, you guys know, if you've been watching the stream for a long time, I'm a big proponent of updating Silver Moon. I think it's one of the best unused assets in the entire game. We need Silver Moon to be up. You can't even fly in that damn place. And we're getting dynamic flying now in the entire world. And yet we can't even regular fly in Silver Moon. And it's one of the most beautiful cities in the entire game. So Silver Moon Guards getting an update, how this can be worked into the next expansion, more Silver Moon stories, maybe a healing of the Dead Scar. I mean, that thing's been there for a while. The Scourge, God knows what's happening with them. We have our fucking tiara of wills now instead of the Helm of Domination. So who knows what's going on with the Scourge. But I think we could eventually see like a healing of the Dead Scar, up-resing of the entirety of Silver Moon, making it available for flying. I think Silver Moon's a great-looking city that needs to be updated. And I hope eventually they turn around and they do that. We've also seen before, there's been plenty of Silver Moon in-game assets. I'll throw them up on the screen here for YouTube. But these things have never been put into the game yet. Why has Blizzard been doing all this shit? Remaking Silver Moon, remaking the guard armor. I mean, this stuff has to mean something. They wouldn't be putting all this work in if they're not going to somehow up-res the city. Anyways... Yeah, like I said, dynamic flying coming, a bunch of stuff happening. I see eventually we see a healing of the Dead Scar and maybe an up-resing of Silver Moon and bringing it back to modern times. Yeah, that would be great. Moving on to one of the more depressing topics, but hey, we're gonna try to bring up the mood a little bit on this one. So you guys know I was really excited about this unannounced event last week that Blizzard dropped, and all of a sudden it turned out, oh, the unannounced event is actually a cross-promotional event with Arclight Rumble, the World of Warcraft mobile game, which will be launching on, I think it's November 3rd or something like that. Yeah, something like that. I'll tell you the date, November 3rd or 7th. But anyways, it's coming out. And it's, you know, it's their mobile game. There was an in-game event for WoW with it where you could get these little action figures and stuff. And you know what? It's a WoW mobile game. I really don't know much about it. So I figured we'd take the time here for a second to figure out what exactly this game is. I really don't know anything. You've been playing on the beta? Really? It's not bad? Well, let's check out a little preview here of what it is. Arclight Rumble, November 3rd. It drops. Let's see what Arclight Rumble's all about. I honestly don't know much about this game at all, but I figured we'd take a little time here to preview it. Shit, blowing off my ears.
Hi, welcome to a Warcraft Rumble developer update. I'm Justine. I'm joined by my friends.
Hi, I'm Alora.
Hey there, Jeremy.
It's been a while since we last spoke. We've been hard at work at improving this game and adding a whole bunch of new stuff, including dungeons and new ways to interact with the campaign, which has been expanded even further, that we're really excited to talk about today.
Ding, ding, dingy, ding, ding. Just gonna go from the top.
Jeremy, can you tell me what Warcraft Rumble is?
Absolutely.
What is Warcraft Rumble?
It's an action strategy game that takes place in the basement of the Hearthstone Tavern. And down there's this mystical arcade machine that's been created by the gnomes of Azeroth. And inside of that arcade machine, it prints out miniature figurines of the heroes and villains of Warcraft.
We got action figures.
And then those figurines are brought up to the playing board.
Oh, so these figurines are the things that we've been looting in WoW. Okay, that's what it is. All right, I understand now. I was wondering what those things, I was like, are these just little models from the game? This is like actual in-game lore. So this arcade machine exists in the basement of Goldshire Inn, and these little action figures are what it pumps out? Okay. All right.
Then grab them, drop them on the playfield, and then they get
confirmed in-game lore.
This Arclight energy that brings them to life. And then once they've all come alive, they're marching.
We don't know what the Forsaken armor is doing in the game, but we do know there is an arcade machine. Confirmed.
Field, trying to take over towers, and eventually trying to get to a boss. And each of our bosses in Warcraft Rumble has a different mechanic associated with it. So you may be doing something like dodging a stick of dynamite or trying to avoid a frozen hurricane. But either way,
it's like a
it's
click and
fast
move, like a tab
action
target
all
or
over the
something.
place. It's really, really fun.
You could be going from dodging dynamite to dodging a dino's might.
You also may have noticed here that we've been saying Warcraft Rumble and not Warcraft Arclight Rumble, and that's for a reason. We've actually ended up changing the name. Turns out that Warcraft Arclight Rumble was a bit of a mouthful.
Smaller name, but big action.
Oh, they changed it. Okay, so it's Warcraft Rumble now. All right. It is a better name.
In Warcraft Rumble, we have this concept of families, which are pretty integral to a mini's identity. These families include Alliance, Horde, Undead, Blackrock, and Beast.
Each of the
Oh my god. That's it, boys. No more two-faction game. Confirmed right here. We're going to get this in WoW, I'm sure. We're going 5 factions now. 5 factions.
5 families actually also has leaders associated with it as well. And those leaders are basically like deck archetypes in Warcraft Rumble.
While it still is a massive, overarching experience spanning both continents, we've managed to add more zones to it and more experiences for players to enjoy.
We've recently just added Hinterlands and Darkshore, and there's some really, really fun bosses there. Some of my personal favorites, Gramungus, who actually takes a giant boulder and rolls it down the lane and crushes all the minis in each of the lanes in doing so.
Just you saying Gramungus makes me happy.
I mean,
Gramungus.
It's what he is. He's Gramungus.
Yeah, he's pretty Gramungus.
That's like a really
we
good
go.
name for a firstborn child, I think.
Jesus. That's great.
Once
is what
you've
we're doing
beaten
now.
the Warcraft Rumble campaign, that's not actually the end of it. Once you've overcome that challenge, we're going to present to you a brand new challenge on top of
So
that.
there's a campaign. Is there a multiplayer in this or something? Is there like an online versus play mode? Because I thought this was going to be kind of like, oh my god, what are all these like battle games that exist on the phone? I don't play mobile games that much, but I thought it was going to be something like that, like Clash of Clans or something. But they're talking about right now. They're talking about a campaign.
The heroic campaign, and this is an
Oh, there's
opportunity
a heroic
for you
campaign
to
too.
go back and
Is this
play
just
those levels
campaigns? There's
again,
like single
but
player.
This time with an increased level of challenge. And once you've overcome the heroic campaign, you'll actually gain access to some awesome rewards.
Is that Kel'Thuzad?
It's well worth doing.
If you are looking for a different gameplay experience, Arclight Surge is able to flip the script a little bit on each of those maps that you may have already been familiar with. You can go into a map and all of a sudden your flying units are now 30% faster.
Oh, so it's like there's like a Mythic Plus version of these two.
So the enemy's flying units are 30% faster. And how does that change up?
Yeah, they're like buffing stuff.
Look forward to getting
that moon can look badass.
in dungeons.
Dungeons are these 3-round gauntlets that you can hop into every week. And what you do is you'll play through these different rounds of dungeons, and as you clear these rounds, you'll be able to pick a relic. And what this relic will do is it'll add a new dynamic to your army. That way, kind of no 2 dungeon rounds are necessarily the same.
So like you're picking your affix? These are like affixes, it sounds like.
Apply to your army while you go and progress.
We've also added a new dungeon. We're introducing Nomuragon.
We're not dungeon yet.
Ah!
You've got Mechioneer Thermoplug, who's a leper gnome sitting inside of a giant mech suit. We've also got...
So we're going to liberate Nomuragon in Arclight Rumble before we do.
Because he's one of the first bosses...
I'm going to keep calling it it's Warcraft Rumble now. We're going to liberate Nomuragon in Warcraft Rumble before we do in World of Warcraft.
And always use another death
King
knight.
Julian coming in. Oh my God. 7 months, currently on a 5-month streak of being a Death Knight of our Scourge. Thank you, King Julian. I appreciate that, man.
Actually, a real big knockback boss, and so he'll do like a 360 spin with his giant kind of boxing gloves and knock all your characters away.
By the way,
from
we
him.
got to get rid of the
What if
leper
you wanna
gnomes. Like,
bump-
at some point, that has to happen in World of Warcraft. There's no way that the diseased leper gnomes are going to literally take over the entirety of Nomuragon for the whole time. It's been freaking 23 years, hasn't it? 20 years? It's been 20 years now. And they haven't figured it. Give them a vaccine or something. Make it political. I don't
your
know.
friends
Call
in Warcraft
Pfizer.
Rumble. We have an
Need to
awesome
fix that
PvP
shit.
mode that is actually really kind of comprised of 3 different pieces. So you've got your map, your tower type, and the final one is mode. Mode basically determines kind of what the affix is for the map. Are your units faster, slower? Do all units
Yeah, I don't
start
think many...
stealth? There's a lot of different...
Look, King Julian, you're saying who gives a fuck about Arclight Rumble? Or it's Warcraft Rumble? I guarantee you this game's going to make them a shit ton of money. I don't care about it. But it was in WoW, and, you know, this thing came up, and I was like, you know what, let me see what the hell this game's about, because I have no idea what it's about. But watch and see, this game's going to make them a lot of money. That's the sad thing. It really is. Mobile gaming's just a freaking money... Damn it, that knock. That knock is so realistic. It scares the shit out of me every fucking time. My God, King Julian. You scare everybody? Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Burning Viking. Sorry, I said King Julian. Yeah, I just figured I'd check it out and see what it's about, because this is going to be a big boon for them. I guarantee it.
modes that you can kind of play in the games, and it keeps the gameplay fresh because it doesn't focus on a single...
No, we didn't liberate our
So all
Nomuragon.
of these ways that you can play, not only do they go towards improving your own army, if you're in a guild, you can also contribute through
I
something
gotta
called
pause
War
this.
Chest. All of the battles that you do contribute towards a bigger pot for everyone in your guild. Oh, we should talk about Old Murkai. If you ever fought him in Westfall, you might have been like, man, this guy's a real pain. Well, now you can be that pain.
Old Murkai's got a passive ability called March of the Murlocs that allows every time you spawn Old Murkai, 2 Murlocs will also spawn.
Make leper
in your
gnomes the
base
next
and start
allied race,
marching
yeah.
up the lanes towards the boss. So it really incentivizes you wanting to play Old Murkai over and over and over again, so that you have a literal wave of Murlocs crushing your enemies.
Oh, Murlocs,
it's really fun
great.
to just see how many of those
Classic
little
WoW
juicy guys you can
PTSD.
get out there on the field.
We haven't talked about talents.
Talents are a way to just like change up how the gameplay
they have
of
a
your
talent
individual
system.
units works. In the past beta, we've only had a certain subset of talents, but recently we've been adding so many more to the game, to the point where now all 65 plus of our collectible characters actually have 3 talents apiece.
Yeah, I think I want
And those
Mechatorp to get his
talents
city back. I
something
do.
to basically augment the gameplay experience of using those characters. Justine, do you have a favorite talent?
I am a huge fan of Angry Chicken Sacrifice.
All hail Sacrifice.
Sacrifice! Sacrifice!
Are they sacrificing chickens?
Thank you so much for your patience while we continue to cook, while we continue to craft this bun that is still in the oven. The bun needs time, it is rising, it is growing. We are eagerly watching it. pressed up against the oven glass. So thank you so much for your patience for this. We really want to release it when it's ready. We want to make sure
from what I
this is an experience
understand, there is no multiplayer. Is that the case? Is that really what it is? I really thought this was a multiplayer game, but this looks like just like a dungeon crawler. Like you just keep doing dungeons with different levels of difficulty. If there is no multiplayer, I don't see what the hell the replayability is on this thing. There is PvP, it said. Okay, I'm not paying attention then. All right, good.
Enjoy, and it's a quality experience as well.
Fucking loser.
That's about all that we have for today. If you're looking forward to rumbling with us, the game is ready for pre-registration.
They're gonna have a Lich King unit. I might try it. Warcraft Rumble. Get it. Oh, wow. Look at that. You get the little package, too. The Mecha Kobold units. Okay, nice. Yeah, I don't know if my feelings have changed, but there it is, not Arclight, sorry, Warcraft Rumble. Check it out when it finally comes out, which will be November 3rd.